taking my time to work the problem out, yet trying to convince her that there is no need for doubt. It's your goofy homeboy Grand Tizzle Wizzle Dizzle. What up, though, homies and homies? It's your homeboy Grand Tizzle, and we are back. Y'all probably like, this fool, what this fool up to now? I'm singing. Times is too bad to be singing, man. Times too bad to be singing, man. It's tsunamis happening everywhere. Earthquakes, tornadic events, hurricanes, names, tsunamis, man. Cancer, murder, adultery. It's a lot of stuff going on. Kids disobeying their parents, smoking crack, marijuana, drugs. You wonder to yourself, man, how can a person be upbeat in this chaotic, psychotic, crazy, Illuminati society? When you want to know the secrets of happiness. I'm gonna give y'all a secret to happiness. I'm gonna tell you right now. You know what? This is gonna cost you $500. All right, I'm gonna give y'all the secret to happiness. Okay, y'all ready? It's one phrase. Let it go. Let it go. If you can't control it, let it go. If you ain't feeling it, let it go. If it's bothering you, there's nothing you can do about it. Let it go. Do what you can do. Do the best you can. Live the best way you can. And let the rest go. You know, I learned something, fam. Excuse me. I learned something in these last 3 years that I've been in hiatus, up and down, back and forth, this, that, and the other. I've learned that anger and sadness and misery and this, that, and the other, all of those things that conflicts with your system, with your flesh, you know, things that irritate you, it all have to do with some form of control. Let it go. You know, you ever notice yourself all bothered, hot and bothered, all annoyed at your girl for whatever reason? She did something stupid, or she ain't doing something she's supposed to do, or whatever the case may be. You irritable, you aggravated. Let it go. You find yourself trying to teach your kids and help them and try to guide and direct them, and they going all kind of crazy way and they doing what they want to do. Let it go. You find yourself all bothered and you got these other type of issues happening, this, that, and the other. Let it go. Let it go. Do the best you can and be happy. It's your homie Grand Tizzle, and I'm back. So, fam, today, what are we going to be talking about today? Well, what I want to talk about today, fam, is this. I'm going to be talking about the new journey that we're going to be venturing off into in 2014. Now, you guys is already familiar with the fact that we have, not we. Well, yeah, we, because that's how I look at it. Whenever I accomplish something, fam, you accomplish something. Whenever I get in a position, fam, you get in a position. You see what I'm saying? See, I love it because I never, like, success is cool, but success is nothing when you ain't got nobody to share with. So my success in becoming and I know you probably already heard it. I hope that you've already heard that I've been assigned the chief engineer of a historical museum, not historical museum, a historical recording studio, United Sound System Recording Studios in Detroit, Michigan. Now, if you will, that's, you know, if I can kind of just summarize it, that's kind of like an Abbey Roads. If not even more bigger, if not even more powerful, but definitely equivalent, nowhere near under. equivalent to Abbey, or maybe powerful, even more powerful, Abbey Roads. So if you don't know what that is, just look up, just Google Abbey Roads, just scan through the history real quick, and you'll see the Beatles and things like that, you know, Rolling Stones and people, as a matter of fact, Red Hot Chili Peppers. But ironically, Red Hot Chili Peppers started at United Sound System recording studios. So that's how deep and how serious it is. Anyway, to make me the chief engineer of something so massive is I'm speechless. I can't even put it in words. But I will say this. A lot of times when things is big and large and massive, some power or some higher being or some higher entity thrusts leadership upon you. And a lot of times that leadership comes from experience. Do you have the experience? Do you have the type of personality that can handle this weighty responsibility? And are you humble enough? And I would say, yeah. You know, I mean, actually, I'll take that back. I would say I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I can handle a weighty responsibility like that. But what I will say is that I am honored to be offered that position, and I'll explain to you why. All my life, I'm gonna tell you a story. When I was young, ironically, it's a lot of irony in this, and hopefully I got some footage that I could show you of my old neighborhood. But when I was a young kid, I would wake up and I would listen to some music, and it's one particular song that I fell in love with when I was younger, besides all the other greats like Stevie Wonder, Prince, George Clinton, this, that, and the other. It was one song in particular, and if anyone know me from 03, 04, 05, when I first started hip hop session at Todaysbeats.com, you would know that one song is one song in the litter box of production. It was one song that turned me on into this whole thing, and that was Nice Over Egypt. It was a song called Nice Over Egypt, and that was by the Jones Girls, right? And that was the tip of the iceberg that made me say I'm going to do music. But it was always other music. It was Stevie Wonder. Again, I could mention a few songs later on, or I can just post up a little tag because I can have more time to think. But these songs is what motivated me to want to get into music. Now, I used to stay on a street called San Antoine and Beaubien. And in San Antoine and Beaubien, there was nothing in the neighborhood but dope fiends. Wasn't crackheads, crack wasn't out at that time, but it was dope fiends. It was very, very scary and dreary time. Like when we used to walk around the neighborhoods, it was human beings and they was walking around like zombies because they was literally zoned out. They would smell like piss and poop, and they would be nodding, and they wouldn't even be conscious of what's going on. So we had to walk around this in the neighborhood, and a lot of music reflected those memories, fam. The Curtis Mayfields and the "Again We Play, She Plays for Keeps," hustling times and ghetto streets, trying to get over. You know, all that old music, man, reminded me of where I grew up. But here's the irony of it, fam. I knew I wanted to get into music when I was young, because I was always artistic, but I always wanted to touch people's hearts with sound design, volume. Ironically, the studio that I am the chief engineer of today, this studio was around the corner from my house all this time. But at this time, I was 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Very young. I didn't know that the studio that all these great hits, and when I say great hits, let me explain to you what I'm talking about. In 1975, 1976, you had Don Davis that took over the studio around the corner from my house, and I did not know, had absolutely no idea, because at this age, I don't even know what is a studio, a recording studio. To me, it's equivalent to a car manufacturing company. Chrysler, Ford. I didn't know that there was a office that you go to produce music. I didn't know that. I just thought it just popped out. I'm young, don't know. But it was right around the corner from my house. All of this music, all of these greats, John Lee Hooker and Berry Gordy and Don Davis and Isaac Hayes and Curtis Mayfield and I'm talking about anybody that you can think of from the 50s through the 80s been through this building. And this building was right around the corner from my house, and I had absolutely no clue. No clue. Not until recently, fam. Now, I ain't gonna tell you my age right now, but I say a good 20, 30, 40, 50 years later, I'm now realizing that this historical, legendary studio is right around the corner from my house. And I've dreamed. Now, here's what we're talking about, fam. We're talking about the dream. I've dreamed all my life of being somebody important, somebody significant, somebody that made an impact on music and made an impact on people's lives. And I turn around and I've been assigned. I didn't seek this out, fam. It sought after me. It sought after me. But the question is this: how do you get into a position where something like that seeks you out? Because there's no standing in line, fam. I mean, imagine how long the line would be that if Motown was to reemerge and recreate a studio, state of the art, up to date, modern, 2014, 2020 studio. Imagine the line. Imagine how long the line would be for anybody across the globe to want to be a chief engineer of that studio, whether they work a day in there or not. Just imagine how long that line would be. So there's no preparation. There's no line that I can get into to be put into this position. Yet and still, this little dirty, funky boy from the ghetto with his holes in his shoes and his nappy hair and his sticky clothes because they were poor, and all he knew and all he loved and all he thrived was for music. How can you prepare for that, fam? You can't. You can't prepare for it. So not only do I see this as a blessing, but I see it as a responsibility. It's more of a responsibility for me, fam. I have a very serious responsibility thrust upon me. As a king would run a nation, it's the same thing. So what is my goal, fam? What can I do? What can I contribute? All I can do is contribute what I already was doing. And maybe, possibly, the entity or the higher being saw that and put this situation in my hands so that I can continue to do what I already sought out to do. And that is to teach. To teach, fam. And that's what I'm here for. And that's what I'm going to do. And until my mission change, or until my destiny change, or whatever the plans or the layout, until it shift, then this is what I'm going to be doing. And that's why we're here today. And that's why you're listening to me right now. So count it a blessing. Because whatever happened to me, fam, it's going to happen to you. And don't think I'm in a better position than you are. I'm in the equal position because I am as grateful as you would be. The only difference is some of you out there might not share this love, this history, this knowledge, but not me. See, well, I remember when I was young, I wish that I had a mentor. I wish that I had somebody to look up to. I wish that I had somebody to pry their brains. But I didn't. I had to learn on my own. So maybe it's a calling. Maybe it's not. I'm not sure. But what I do know is that I'm driven. My drive is to get you this information, get you this valuable information. Now let me explain to you what this information is. Now, your homie Grand Tizzle, I started in 05, and I already brought y'all the game about hip-hop production. And then as time went on, I tried to elevate you into some other things like just R&B production and then other things like that. But then I took a little hiatus, and I kind of stepped off of I stepped from behind the teaching desk, if you will, for a moment. Now, that's okay. Now, along the lines, fam, and I will humbly admit that I'm imperfect. I'm imperfect. I'm just a guy. I'm just a human being. I'm not a god. I'm not a superhero. I'm not an angel or nothing. So I'm going to make mistakes. And I have to deeply apologize for the mistakes that I made. But the mistakes that I made, and I've learned along the way. But I would say that the mistakes that I have made was the fact that I took on too much responsibility and I couldn't handle it. And a lot of people, they warn me. They say, Terrence, you're doing a good job. You're doing a very good thing, but you're by yourself. And if you try to handle it by yourself, it can get overwhelming. And you can lack in customer service. And that's probably is more important than the actual training itself. And I didn't hear it at the time because at the time I just had a small group. But there was a few people that warned me. In particular, I forget his name, but he's in Illinois, Peoria. I hope you're still here because you'd be like, oh, he talking about me. But a few people there, my friend Shirt, a few people told me, they said, it might become overwhelming, but at the time, again, it was at a manageable rate. But what happened was the word spread it, and everybody, hey, I want to know what's going on. Oh, he doing that. Oh, let me see what you're talking about. And next thing you know, I had a lot of people. And after that, it became a bigger responsibility, and I couldn't keep up with everything. So not that some people lost in the situation, but because I had so many people to deal with, fam, it would take longer to get back with people. No one can complain. I mean, if out of maybe 10,000 people that I helped, maybe 8 or 9 can complain to say, man, he ain't never come through. But that's out of over 10,000 people, fam. And if I never came through, it's because either that person gave up or they never reached out to me to make sure that they got what they need. So I always deliver a product. I always give a person 9.5 out of 10. If anybody know me, you know that you got more than what you missed out. So for example, if you got something from me and you spent a certain amount, if a certain amount of time went by and I didn't get back with you, when I did finally get back with you, I always overcompensated. So if you bought something at a value of 1, you would have got something at a value of 2, or twice as much. So if it was $100 or $200, you got $500 worth of material. And that's just because, I want to make sure that everybody is okay. But the whole point I'm trying to make is that I'm imperfect. I'm imperfect. I'm one human being, and I'm doing the absolute best I can. I'm not here trying to swindle people and, get people this, that, and the other. I'm just doing the best I can, and just being one person kind of hindered the movement when it started to grow. But fortunately today, I have a lot of assistants on standby. I got a lot of assistants on hand, especially being the chief engineer of a historical place like United Sound System Recording Studios. You know, I got staff now, you know. I got staff that's going to be working on my behalf. So if any issues come up or whatever the case may be, there's always going to be somebody you can call. There's always going to be customer service. So that's resolved. But now there's other things. There's other things. But before we get there, I do want to say that, and I know this is a very long, this is going to be, you know, a long introduction. So go get you some Kool-Aid and some Yahoo and, you know, for my homies, you know, the beer drinkers or whatever the case may be. And I don't mean to get there, but you know, the fact of the matter is some of us producers are beer drinkers. Some of us producers are engineers. So, hey, it is what it is. But I am teaching kids, training kids. So, you know, I encourage you guys to drink your Kool-Aid. It's your homie. But anyway, I do want to say this. I listened to a lot of your production. You guys been sending some production. And I'm overwhelmed with the quality of the creativity. I'm really overwhelmed with the quality of the creativity. But now there's something that we need to add, fam. And this was something that I never discussed with you in previous tutorials, because, you know, we have to kind of take one step at a time. But right now, I think that we are in the stage or the state where we can actually step our game up. Now, I want to say something real quick. We're going to step our game up, fam. But what we're going to do is we're not just going to do the production, and we're going to go a little bit further than, you know, producing the beat, arranging a song, and stopping. We're going to now produce the beat. But before we even produce the beat, fam, we're going to go into the mindset. What mindset should I be in right now when I produce this track, so that it can help you in your creative stage? And then once we pass that stage, and it's all going to be systematically, fam, it's all going to be methodically put together. But these are going to, what the new tutorials is going to be like, fam. But we're going to start off with the mindset, and then we're going to go into the production part. Now, traditionally, from 05 all the way up into 10, 11, 12, we had always just did the music, and we did it in loop form, and then I just dismissed you and left you on your own. But not today, not now. The game has changed. The game is fully in full throttle right now, which means this, fam, you have a bigger responsibility. See, when I first started Todaysbeats.com, Todaysbeats.net, when I first started Hip Hop in Session, it was all about the production. And that's because back in those days, when I first started, you do your production, you sell your track, you go to a studio. Those days have changed. With the development of Fruity Loop Studio, with the development of Cakewalk and Sonar and Cubase and the modern Cubase and Reason 7 and Pro Tools, that's much more affordable for pretty much anybody that's doing music production, the game have changed. Now, what I want to say, and pay very close attention to this, because if you made it this far, you're serious about what you're trying to do, and I respect that, and I know you're going to listen. So I'm going to put emphasis on pay attention. Today, the things that we're able to do today in our bedroom is equivalent to what they was doing in United Sounds 20, 30, and 40, 50 years ago. Okay, fam? Are you listening to me? What we can do today is equivalent to what they was doing back in the day. Now, does that mean that you can does that mean that you don't have to go to a studio to get a particular sound? You can do it all at home? Not necessarily. But these training videos is going to teach you and train you and help you to understand Once you understand sound, design, engineering, the science and the acoustics of the recording environment, period, you'll have a much more firmer and deeper understanding of what the heck you doing, fam. So that's what this training is going to be about. This training is going to be deeper, it's going to be stronger, it's going to be more intense. It's going to be a true educational series, fam. We're not just going to be randomly going through beats and tricks and trades and nah. We're going to cover that. But then we're going to get into the deeper, more meatier things, because the game have changed. It's different, fam. It's not the same. All those things that I was explaining to you guys in 03 or 04 or 05 it doesn't hold weight today. It just don't. We were caught up right in at the pivotal moment of change. At the pivotal moment of change, and that's where we were. So now you don't need a record label. You don't need the A&R, because back in the day, fam, I used to say, hey, watch how you produce it, fam, because you get your A&Rs and they just looking for hits. So if you ain't coming with that trendy sound, blah blah blah, please. Not today. Today with YouTube and Facebook and all of these social networks, are you kidding me? You do not need the labels no more, fam. You can wake up, you can wipe the coal out your eyes. You can come and sit in your sweaty leather or plastic office chair. You can cut on Reason, you can cut on Fruit Loops, you can cut on Pro Tools 11 or 10 or 9 or 8 or 7. And you can make your beat. And you can, a heart is a house of love, and I learned. And you can actually do that and sound retarded while you're doing it. And you're going to have an audience that likes it, fam. You don't have to wait. The A&R, there's no going through no A&R. There's no signing no record deals right now. I mean, of course, if you do your thing and you promote it on YouTube and you get over 1 million or 2 million views, of course, labels they're going to be rushing after you. But why? Because they want some of that money that you already making. The game have changed. So with that, fam, with the game have been changed, you change with it. Don't produce no more for labels. Produce more for you. Okay, I know what Beyonce sound like. I know what Dre sound like. I know what Drake sound like. I know what Lil Wayne sound like. I know what he's going through. I know what Kanye West, I know how he sound. I know what he's going through. I understand him. But what about Leon down the street from me? What about Andre and his sister? What about Teresa? She always had a good voice, and her brother can always produce, but they didn't have a shot at making it in the industry. What about them? See, now I can listen to them. They might have a totally different, unique sound that I wish Beyonce or Jay-Z would produce, but they wouldn't do it. They aren't gonna do it because they got their agenda. They have their formula that they use, that they can make their money, that they can keep just circulating that same old thing over and over again. But what about somebody coming up with something brand new and unique? Can I hear them? Music is the sound of human emotion. There's more emotion out here than just Beyonce, Rihanna, and Drake, and Chris Brown. There's other emotions. What about the poor people? What about the people that's suffering here? Or the people that's suffering there? Or the people that's enjoying certain happiness over there? What over there, back here? What about the people who live behind me? What about people next door? What's going on in their household? That's why Chief Keef is so infamous right now. because Chief Keef did not fall into the clutches of what they're doing in the industry. He didn't care. I don't care what they're doing. This is what I'm doing. You either listening or you don't. And it just so happened that somebody heard him and exploited him to 1 billion other people. So now out of the 1 billion other people, you got a few people that like, hey, I like Chief Keef. I like him. I don't know. Why? Why do you like him? I don't know. Because he's so authentic. He's so real. He's so raw. Or whatever you want to call it. Whatever he is. So where's your sound? So here's the goal, fam. The goal is to first discover you. Now let me break this down a little bit. See, I've been doing a documentary of the Motown sound for over a year now. And I've sat with the greatest. I've talked and spoke with the greatest. And I'm going to tell you something, fam. Let me tell you something. And take this to your grave with you. Please listen. I said, what is, and I asked maybe over 50 people, and they all gave me the same, they all gave me the same explanation. Now I'm going to say this to you, fam, and it should open your eyes. This should be a pivotal moment for you. I said, what is the secret of the Motown sound? And don't get me wrong, fam. When I say Motown sound, I don't mean just only Berry Gordy and that group. No, I mean just the sound of young America. That's what I mean. When I say Motown sound, I just say the young sound of America. That's it. That's it. Whether it's back then in the 50s and the 60s, 70s, 80s, 2014, what is the sound of young America? And I'm going to tell you what it is. And when I say this, I want you to pay attention that every freaking single hit song that's out today, pay attention and take note. What's the secret? Individuality. It's you. You're the secret. Now let me break this down and help you understand. Now I summarized it to individuality because I had a summary. I had to summarize what is all these producers and engineers saying? What are they saying? It's individuality. And this is what I mean. When you do a song, fam, is your personality embedded in that song? Is you embedded in that song? Is your singer, do you grab the emotional soul from her spirit? Can you hear the Can you get all of that? Are you getting all of that? Or are you getting superficial? It's individuality. People want to hear the realness from another human being. They need to connect. They need to connect to something that they can relate to. You can relate to sorrow. You can relate to pain. You can relate to sadness. You can relate to fear. You can relate to anger. All these things you can relate to. You relate to the human being. You never relate to the superficial. You know why Kanye West is still doing his thing, fam? And you know why that boy's still famous? Because he got passion. Kanye West got passion. Listen to his songs. Pay attention to his songs. Listen to his voice. He got passion. Now, I'm going to tell you where the hits come from. You know where the hits come from, fam? You say you got one person with passion. Now, put me in the studio room, and I got all of these emotions, right? Let's hypothetically say I'm emotionally happy at that time. Now, take another individual and put it in a room. And he could just be somber or normal that day. What happens when that one person experiences my happiness? What happens with him? He gets happy. And what happens between the two of us? Once I express my happiness and now he's happy, what happens between the two? We start expressing each other different happinesses. Now, what happens when a third person come in? A third person wants to be a part of the one and two people happiness. So what happens? All three people is joyful and laughing and camaraderie and happiness and drinking and doing whatever they're going to do to keep the dopamine, the adrenaline levels high from happiness. Three people in one room. Now, what happens when there's people outside of that room and all they hear is this laughter and this joy and all of this fantastic things happening in this particular room? What happens to these people that's outside the room, fam? Think about it. If you was outside that room and you knew that the kids was laughing and the wife was laughing and the brother and the uncle and the dad and the grandma was like, what would you do? You would join them. First thing your nosy bug gonna do, you gonna walk in the door. Hey, what y'all laughing about? I want to laugh. I want to feel good. So they share their happiness. Next thing you know, you caught up in it. Next thing you know, you got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people caught up in the same emotion. And all of y'all can even be even more so joyful because y'all are experiencing the same emotion. That is the Motown sound. Family sharing emotion. That is the sound of young America. That is the sound of music. So, for lack of better words, what is the sound? What is the secret to hit records? Collaboration. Collaborate. You can do good on your own. You can do better with 2. But with 3, you're unstoppable. Do you know? Let me explain something to y'all before we move on. Do you understand? Can you comprehend why George Clinton, Parliament Funkadelic made so many? Can you comprehend why they made so many freaking hits out that building, United Sound System recording studios? Man, the stories that I heard, man, it's breathtaking. But I'm going to tell you what it was. It was people. People was everywhere. When you walk in the studio, you walk in Studio A, people laying down, sleep, sitting up, smoking, drinking, laughing, vibing, throwing up, partying, discoing, slipping and sliding, sneaking, creeping. People. It was people. And with all of those people, with one objective and one mindset, how in the world can you go wrong? Now, one person can go wrong, yeah. You know, George Clinton by himself, he tried to make a hit record by himself. He might get lucky, okay, but, you know, it's only going to go so far. But 2 people, tables might turn a little bit. But 3 people? 3 people that's concurring one sound? That's pretty doggone good. But now 4 people concurring one sound. It's a hit. Now, let's take it further than that. You got 8 people that's contributing to a particular song or sound. You know what that means? First of all, think about this, fam, and think about the equation and the variation of how this works. You got 1 person that can influence many. 2 people can influence twice as much. 3 people can influence 3 times as much. 4 people can influence enough for you to have a hit song. 5, 6, 7, 8, and they all contribute to the same sound. That's how hit records was just produced endlessly. And I'm gonna tell you something, fam. It was like it got to a point where everything they freaking did in that doggone studio became a hit. What's the secret formula, fam? People. Collaboration. If 4 or 5 people collaborate on the same thing, you got a hit song. All right? Now that's a deep embedded secret, fam. That's the formula. That's the formula. Now I know I done talk your ears off, and that's fine, because I'm only talking to serious people. Only. And I know it's been 40 minutes, look like we're going on 40 minutes, 20 seconds. But we're going to move on. And I'm going to talk to you about the school and the classes that I'm going to be holding. And hopefully you guys get have at least a general understanding of where I'm coming from. But what I want to talk about is first, let me say this real quick. More than just how to make hit songs, fam, there's another category that's added to music. And it's important that you guys listen, okay? And it's important that you guys pay attention to it, okay? Even if you pause this and come back later, just come back later and just listen to it, finish it up, right? I'm talking, this is a whole doggone movie. But it's very important that you guys get this information and really understand where I'm coming from. But now, there's another sector. Besides the methodology of making a hit song, or kind of just making good music. Keep in mind, a hit song, I mean, if you do it from an individual standpoint, just do what you love to do, enjoy yourself, and one fan is good enough for you. If you have one stranger fan that genuinely like your material, then that's what you should produce for. You should produce for that one fan. I may have some people debunk me, but the bottom line is, I don't like Katy Perry. That don't mean that she's not successful. I don't care for Lady Gaga, but that does not mean that she's not successful. And that's the point that I'm trying to make. You have to produce things that you love from what's from your heart, and then you're going to have a following of people that understand your heart. They understand where you're coming from, and they're going to enjoy your music based on that understanding. Okay, so that's first and foremost. Now, the second thing, fam, and this is where the training is going to really, where you're really going to get your true value from. You're going to get your value from the beat making, the production, things like that. But you're also going to get your value from the fact that after you're done with the material, how are you going to present it? How's it going to be presented? Is your kicks going to be so hard where every time somebody try to turn up your music, it's going to blow their car speakers so they can't even turn it up? They got to listen to it low. Or they can't hear your vocals because your music is crowding out your vocals? No, you want your material to sound just like Lady Gaga. You want your material to sound just like Jay-Z or Beyonce or Rihanna or Sierra. You want your material to sound like that. That way, when you're battling against the arena of songs and sounds and things like that, whether people like it or not, your music is equivalent to the levels and the frequencies and the professionalism as your counterparts. So now you have a fair shot at developing a true fan base. You have a fair shot at it. Because you can have some really, man, people send me music all the time. And I love them all. I love them all. And have not been one person that will send me some production that I'll be like, they need more work. Not one. Not one. I'd be surprised y'all still come to me looking for tutorials. I'll be surprised because I'm like, you good. You straight. But I can understand it. I can understand the motivation behind why you were coming and check out the tutorials. But for the most part, your material sound excellent. But one thing I noticed, the sound quality of it can be improved. And that's where we come in at. See, I'm not going to just stop at production and then just walk away and leave you on your own to fence for it and try to search and find for it. We're going to take a step to the next level. We're going to take a step to the next level. And we're going to learn mixing, the fundamentals of mixing, the fundamentals of mastering. Now, I'm going to say this real quick, fam. I can't say nothing real quick. But when I was talking with my engineers, the Motown legends, and the different people that was engineering for the Funk Brothers, and your Jim Viddies and your Ed Wolframs and your different people that really was the pioneers of mixing engineers back then. One thing that I have discovered, and one thing that they have brought to our young minds, they brought to our attention, is that what we're seeking for today. They said that all this searching for vintage gear and all this looking for the Neve console strip and the this, that, and the other, they used to build these pieces of equipment back in the day. That was one of the primary reasons why everybody wanted to go to United Sounds, because you couldn't afford a Neve console. You couldn't afford an API, a vintage piece of equipment. Now, for those of you that don't know what vintage equipment is, or preamps, or amplifiers, or direct boxes, for those of you that don't know what that is, let me explain to you real quick. And then I'm going to move on, because that's a whole totally different subject. But to understand what that is, and understand the reason why that is so valuable, think about you, and I want to try to kind of put you in a state of mind that you might be in, to try to fully help you understand what's going on. Let's say, for example, you got you you hit the lottery and you got you $50,000 and you spent $20,000 on a truck. And now you want to put a sound system in it. So you put $2,000 worth of sound system in your car so that your sound system can bang through the hood, right? You spend $2,000 as a 5,000 watt system. But you put a 50 watt amp. You spend $100 on a radio with only a 50 watt amp. This 50 watt amp have the responsibility of pumping a 2,000 watt amp speaker. It don't make sense. It don't make sense. The little 50 watt amp, the speakers, ironically, is going to blow the amp. And the speakers don't even have power. The amp is going to power the speakers, but the speakers are so powerful, it's going to blow the little cheesy amp. So what's the idea thing to do? The idea thing to do is to buy a powerful amp. You get you a 2,000 watt amp so that you can play those 2,000 watt speakers. So now you get the full recompense. I know that's not a word. I'm sure I'm not saying it right. But you get the full, range. You get the full power from the speakers because you got a 2,000 watt amplifier that's amplifying those 2,000 watt speakers. And it's even better if you get a little more. Get a 2,500 watt amp, and it really bangs the speakers, make it nice and thick and punchy and powerful. Well, back in the days of recording, you needed some type of system that would raise the volume of your guitars. You needed some type of system that would amplify the volume of your bass, amplify the volume of your vocals. You needed a preamp. You needed a preamp that would get in there and turn up the volume of that microphone so that you can hear me talk and you can hear me breathe. There was a time that I didn't have no one. Even though I can't sing, you get the point. You can hear all of those things. And that's why they made that type of stuff. And the better quality of the preamp, the better quality of the signal of the sound. And the better quality of the signal of the sound, the better quality of your master, and the better it played on the radio, and the better chances that it had to become a song sought after or a hit record. So what are we doing today, fam? Today we're seeking out these preamps and these sound boosters and enhancers and exciters so that we can bring out the volume and the quality and the sound. That's what it's all about, fam. It's about getting the best possible sound into your music. That's what it's all about. And that's the thing that we're lacking in music today. The pros ain't lacking it though. And that's the heads they got up on y'all. On us. The heads they got up, the heads that Kanye got up, the heads that Drake got up. Is anybody aware of the mic that Drake used? Is anybody aware of the preamp that Drake used? See, this is knowledge that we should know, fam. This is knowledge that you should know. I should know. So when we go in the studio, how can we become professional producers and we don't even know not only what a preamp is, but we don't know no names of no preamps or what they do? What is that? That's why in my other tutorial, I said knowledge is the new money. Get paid. Now, there's a benefit, fam, of this knowledge. The benefit is this. After you understand the benefits of preamps and where they come from and why they're there and the sound that we're trying to get, this, that, and the other, you will begin to appreciate and understand a new art form of what's going on in music today. And you can sing on your mic and make beats and you can do all that all day long. But if you got your microphone plugged directly up to your little Scarlett 212 or, your little Motu or whatever the case may be, and you try to compare yourself to what they doing, it's just not going to compare. Why? Because you're not using the equipment that they're using. Drake used a $5,000 mic. What is it? It's a Neumann U84, 87, 89 or something like that. His preamp is a Neve. He always used the Neve 1073. You don't know what it is? Look it up. But what I'm going to say is this, fam. The technology today have changed that. The technology today have gave us some heads up. It gave us heads up. And now we don't have to spend $2,000 and $3,000 and $4,000 and $5,000 on hardware. They have come, and this is a pivotal time, fam, for us to take full advantage of it. But you got to understand it. You got to learn it first. You got to know what it is. You got to know how to benefit from it. But this is the pivotal time to learn this. Because now, what we can do today is equivalent to what, if not even better, than what they did back in the days of United Sound and Motown and Stax and all those other premier record companies and record labels that was producing those hits back then. So what is going to be taught in these new sessions? Of course, production. But we're going to take it a step further. We're going to dive into the mixing. Then we're going to be diving into the mastering. And who can benefit from this? Well, of course, it's going to be the people that is interested in doing their own thing from their own home studio. Whether the home studio is at a store, in the back room, you got a little studio in the basement, or you got a studio in your office room or in the corner of your bedroom. If you got Pro Tools and you got some plugins, you got a good mic and a preamp, you can make some magical things happen. Now, I'm going to tell you who this training is not suitable for. It's not going to be suitable for the people that want to get a quick fix, because, of course, it's going to take time to learn these things. We're not going to take the approach of my old methods where we just randomly throw up tips and tricks. Now, this is real education, and this is real, it's going to require a true dedication of your time. And the goal more so is to help you to develop your ear. So after you do the production, you see, because you already got that mastered, you got that down pat. It's under your fingernails, like it's a part of you. I hear it when you send me the production. But how do we enhance it? You know, we're going to talk about things like parallel mixing. Like, have you even heard of parallel mixing? That's what they did in the Motown days. That's what my engineers, Ed Wolfram and Jim Vitti, expressed. That's a secret that's a secret that's been hidden from you. But you're going to learn it now. And you could do a little bit of research on YouTube. Just look up parallel mixing. You're going like, what? Are you serious? So there's going to be a sequential and methodical way that we're going to be training today. And it's going to help you to get a deeper understanding of what we're doing, so that when it's time, when you when you're faced with an obstacle, you'll know how to deal with it appropriately, as opposed to kind of just having a whole bunch of tips and tricks in your backpack. So it's going to be very, very serious now. Now, we're going to take the same identical approach as prolific, a DeVry, or dang, I don't know why I can't think. What's that music school in Boston? Anyway, those dynamic schools, they charge from $20,000 to $20,000 a year. It's like the minimum. And even when you go to school, you still need hands-on training. It's pathetic. You know, I don't really even understand the logic of charging so much. It's just, to me, it's just ridiculous. First of all, what I do want to say is, who got $20,000? If you into music, because you're trying to get out the hood. You ain't already rich. If you was already rich, you probably wouldn't choose music. So what do you come with $20,000 for a year? But anyway, I'm not going to debunk it. It is what it is. And people do benefit from it. But anyway, that's the system. That's the way it goes. But what I do want to say is, the lessons that we're going to be doing, my lessons are free. They're going to be free. They're going to be very intuitive. They're going to be extremely informal and valuable. You will not get any valueless information at todaysbeats.net. I respect what you're doing, and I'm here to teach and train you. Now, that's my remedial class. No, I'm just playing. No, that ain't my remedial class. Y'all silly, man. But no, that is because I'm going to be offering free training, and then I'm going to be offering advanced. Then I'm going to be offering advanced training. Now, the advanced training is going to be the long, drawn out, explaining to you in detail and really helping you to dig deeper and to fully grasp the understanding of that, so that when you do, the deeper training is going to help you to be able to face obstacles. It's going to give you the deeper insight, you know. Like, I show you on the surface, you know, what's done. For example, I'll show you on the surface what parallel mixing is. I'll show you on the surface what compression is and what it does, and how different mics and impedance, and, you know, the choice of mics and what type of mic to use for different vocals, and, you know, songwriting and thing like that. But then when it gets to the meat of it, to understand why it works, and to understand, you know, all these other technical, the scientific part about it, basically, is what you have to pay for. And that's only going to be $25 a month. So if you're serious, you're going to sign up for, no. Don't, I apologize. Let me back that up. Not if you're serious, because you're serious all around the board. But if you're interested, for lack of better words, to learning the technical details about it, then it's only $25 a month. And it's a minimum of a 6-month course. That's the minimum, because there's some training that we really got to get in there. And also need the time to be able to score and monitor your growth. And that's one thing. I don't want to get too bogged down with too many signups, because I really have to personally check on you individually, personally, see how you're doing musically, see how this information, see how you're learning from the information, see how it's building up. And this is going to be a personal interaction, as if you is right here in Detroit with me in the studio. That's the approach. That's how we're going to do it. That's what I'm going to do. And that's how I'm going to train you for these. So I'm not looking to get 4, 5, 6,000 members. It's ridiculous. I'm not going to be able to keep up with the demand as a teacher. We're going to have a small, intimate group, and I'm going to cut off after 30. I'm going to cut off the signups. See, I don't have to be responsible for you if we're doing it for free, but when you're paying, that's non-responsible for you. But it's going to be a small window, fam. So after 30 signees, is going to get cut off, so that I can be able to focus more and pay more attention. Because the mistake that I made previously with my other tutorials is that I took on too many people, and I wasn't able to keep up. I wasn't able to answer all the emails, or I was able to keep up with everybody, but it was a hassle because, I would get around to you too late because I'm dealing with 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 20, 30, 40 different people that need issues resolved, you see. So we're not going to do it. We're not going to do it like that this time. This time is going to be an intimate situation. Once a month, we're going to have live presentations where I'm going to sit down with the other people at the table. Now, I want you to look up a name called Kern Brantley. Kern Brantley. We're going to be sitting in with him on some sessions. Kern Brantley is, you know what? Just look him up. I'm going to spell it out. KernBrantley. It's Kern Brantley. He's from Detroit. He's a music director for Lady Gaga right now. We're going to also be doing listening sessions with Ed Wolfram. Look him up. That's EDWOLFRUM, as well as getting insight from Jim Vitti. Jim Vitti is another engineer. Now, these people, the reason why I want to work with them, because not only are they prolific, but they are the scientists of what sound was back in the day. They're the scientists. So we'll really learn and benefit a lot from them. And to have them approve or disapprove or give you some insight. I mean, these guys are equivalent, if not more prolific than the new modern engineers right now that they have on YouTube, giving insight here and there. These guys were the leaders of it. They started the whole trend. All of these newer engineers are copiers from these guys that I'm talking about. The Jim Vittis and the Ed Wolfs, these engineers that literally built the equipment. The engineers today is building software, but you have to talk to the original electricians that built the stuff and ask them, why did they use this tube, and what reason did they use that tube and this transformer and all of these things to get the sound, and what was the purpose behind getting this particular sound and how it's colored, and just all kind of things. Your hands you're going to be in good hands, basically. Anyway, I want to be able, the whole thing, fam, is to be able to keep a tight-knitted group of prolific engineers and producers, so that when I'm done with that crew, then we can start on another clique and another group or another team. So right now, if you want, you can enroll now. The sessions is going to start January the 20th. The official session is going to start January the 20th, but I'm going to be updating you guys daily, let you know what's happening and let you know where this, that, and the other is going to be. Right now, I don't have anything set up, so I'll launch a campaign letting you guys know, okay, anybody who want to be a VIP member or an advanced course, join the school. I'll, give you that information. But everybody that want to be involved, everybody that want to know this information, everybody that want to really, really, literally become a professional. And one thing I want to say, and this goes way back to the beginning of the conversation that I had an hour ago, is that I was blessed with this position because of the knowledge. I had knowledge that nobody else had here in Michigan. When they came to me, and ironically, it was far beyond just being a producer. See, and that's the advantage that I had over other people that could have been assigned to be the engineer, the chief engineer of a place like United Sound. But the fact that I shoot video, the fact that I do movies, the fact that I write, the fact that I produce, the fact that I'm an engineer, the fact that I can master, the fact that I can draw, build websites, all of these different skill levels just made me the ideal person for them to choose. And they explain that to me. They say, we choose you because we understand that when we hire you for one thing, we're getting 4 to 5 different expert jobs with one salary, which I kind of don't like that really, because I would like to actually get paid for everything that I know how to do. But I understand, and that's one of the primary reasons why I just up my skill level with everything I do, because I know it makes me a valuable, just make me a walking asset. I'm just a valuable person, period. And that just comes from just being knowledgeable. And it's still so much more I got to learn, fam. So I say that just to encourage you, learn as much as you can. Always train yourself, fam. Always up your skill level. Always just become better at who you are. What do I know? Do you know something more? You should know as much as you can. I learned on the toilet, man. The toilet stool, dog. When I got to go use the bathroom, the iPad coming with me. Is that sanitary? Anyway, so check this out, man. Learn as much as you possibly can, and take it serious, fam, and put yourself in a position where you don't even have to seek out work. Work will seek you out, and that's basically where I'm trying to get you guys. So anyway, that's that. The classes start January the 20th. My first classes will start then, and I'll give you all the information as far as, how many sessions we're going to do, how long it's going to be, this, that, and the other. So, but make sure that if you know that you're going to be a member, fam, secure your spot. Secure your spot. It's free right now. If you enroll today, or you can enroll all the way up to the 20th, but you're not going to be charged until the 20th if you're going to be a VIP advanced paid member. And again, it's only $25 a month, and it's going to be a minimum of a 6-month course. All right. And there's going to be other benefits in that. For example, if you are here in Michigan, if you do live in Detroit, we're going to be holding classes in the actual building itself. And for those who may not join, there's going to be some other additional fees if you actually come into the studio. But I'll break all that stuff down. But for right now, if you secure your position right now, you'll be able to have access to these things in the future when the weather break and people can travel and things like that. We're going to have arrangements for hands-on training inside the studio. So it's going to be a beautiful thing. It's going to be very beneficial. And I know that I talked for over an hour, but it is so much information that I had to bring to you guys. And there's so much things that I wanted to talk to you about. And it's just the tip of the iceberg. And it's a new year. It's a new millennium. And it's time to step out of your comfort zone. Step out of your bedroom. Step out of your basements. Step out of your recording studios. And let's become real, true entrepreneurs. So I hope you guys benefit from this. And I'm going to sign out. I want to keep y'all here forever, but I simply can't do it. There's so much things I need to get together. There's a few people I wanted y'all to look up. I wanted y'all to look up Kern Brantley, Ed Wolfram, Jim Vitti, and who was this other? Tony Green. Tony Green was from Detroit. He worked with Dr. Dre and all of that cast. And he's going to be assisting us in doing some training and things like that too, as well as a few other people. But I'll get into detail about that later on. But I just wanted to at least touch base with you, have this long drawn out conversation, and thank you for listening, even for this long. But it's for the serious inquiries only. So if you made it this far, I know that you're one of the ones that should be taking care of business. I'm counting on you. Depending. It's your homie Grand Tizzle. I'll see y'all in a minute. See y'all when I spin.